I say it once, it equals 100 times. Hey everybody! So this is going to be a movie review of Baasha from 1995, starring the superstar Rajinikanth and also Nagma, who plays Priya, and it's written and directed by Shirish Krishna. Now, I wanted to give a little backstory on why I'm reviewing this movie for those of you that don't know, or you're a new subscriber. I did a trailer reaction. I did two of them, actually. I did trailer reactions for a new movie called Kabali. And there was a big debacle with copyright strikes from Whacked Out Media. And so a lot of the trailer reactions got blocked worldwide, and we had to edit out the actual trailer reaction part and just have our review. But when I was uploading the first one, before any of that stuff happened, I forgot to mention the music, because I was watching the teaser over and over again, because I liked the music. So I did another quick video just talking about that. Well, that one didn't get a copyright strike because I didn't have the video in there, and it kind of blew up. It's like at 230,000 views on it. People like it. But everybody was surprised that I had no idea who Rajinikanth was. I had never heard of him before. I have not seen any of his movies. He's not famous out here, but he is very famous in Asia. So I did a video asking for people to give their suggestions of past Rajinikanth movies that I should watch, just to get an idea of who he is and why he's famous. And Baasha was one of them. I wanted to go from the oldest movie that was suggested to the newest out of the three that I'm going to do. So with Baasha, what I didn't know was he's kind of considered like Chuck Norris. So in the United States, we make Chuck Norris jokes like he doesn't do push-ups, the world moves away from him. You know, they make those kind of jokes about Rajinikanth. So he's got that kind of epic badassness action guy or suave hero. So watching this movie, I could see that. I can see why. He's very suave. He's got a very aura of authority. You know, the ladies like him. He kicks butt. He's very authoritative. He's always in the leadership role. And so I can see why he is popular. And this movie came out in 1995, but it reminded me a lot of some of the movies in the United States and in China from the 1970s, some of the kung fu movies from the 70s and early 80s, and the same with American action films of the 70s and 80s, where the fight scenes were not that great. They're not good. But, you know, you like the character and you're into the movie. During that time period, it didn't matter as much. So you just like watching them kick butt. And he does that. So the fight scenes in this movie are not good. But for the time period and what they were going for, you know, I can see why it's not a big factor. The storyline was interesting. I liked the storyline. Some of the music I liked. There were, I think, a couple of songs I didn't like. But for the most part, I thought the movie was enjoyable. Me and my dad watched it. We really enjoyed it. And, yeah, I would give it about a 7 out of 10, taking into consideration the time period it came out and what they had to work with. Now, that's the end of my spoiler-free review. Now I'm going to get into spoilers and talk about specific things in the movie that I liked and that I didn't like, and we'll go through those if you want to stick around. So if you haven't seen the movie, go watch it, come back, watch the rest of this. If you have seen the movie, which I'm sure most of you have, let's delve into it and see what we got here. Now, it opens up in the beginning with Rajinikanth being an auto man. He's like a taxi driver. You have taxis and you have autos. Taxis are like full cars. Autos are like the three-wheel scooters that you can fit two people in the back seat. So he kind of is the leader of this group of auto drivers. And they open it with this dance sequence, this song of them singing about being automen. And I thought that was a pretty enjoyable sequence. I liked it. There was one shot in there that I can tell the director, Sharish, must have been very proud of. And during the dance scene, Rajinikanth runs over to the left of the camera, and the camera pans with him. Now the camera is stationary, but pans with him in a full 360 circle as he runs around with all of the people in the background and then comes back to the dance sequence. That is kind of a difficult shot to pull off maybe back then, in that you have to have all of your wires and all of your electricity and everything to run the camera and the microphones in a stationary spot below the camera, so that when the camera pans around in a full circle, you're not seeing the crew, the wires running everywhere. If you're doing a tracking shot, you're not seeing the tracks on the ground, or you're not seeing the director sitting in a chair watching everything. So any crew that has to be right behind the camera, which is just the cinematographer and maybe the sound guy, are stationary right behind the camera, and they're just moving in a circle with the camera. But the rest of the crew is either in the background or somewhere else, but they're not a part of the shot. So it was cool that they pulled that off. I liked that. It caught my attention. I was like, oh, okay, they're trying to do some difficult shots, some more difficult shots, but nothing too complicated, not like, or expensive, like huge crane shots and things like that. They had some overhead shots later on in the movie, but they were taken from like a balcony or a higher up place, but not like a full crane, because those are really expensive shots. But I liked that sequence. Then you had the introduction of Priya, who is the daughter of a mobster, smuggler, with dealing with diamonds. And she gets in. They had a funny sequence here where the guy that you don't see his face, he's trying to start his auto, and they had this thing that you pull up on the side, and that's what starts the engine, kind of like a lawnmower, except a lever. And every time he starts it, and he tells everybody goodbye, and then the engine kills. So he starts it again and tells everybody bye, and the engine kills. And it made my dad laugh. It made me chuckle. I thought it was a cool sequence. And then she leaves with Rajinikanth. So that was a cute little scene. I liked that. Then we find out that he has a past. He's in a previous, or used to be like this, some kind of awesome person. Very intimidating. Everybody's afraid of him, and he's walking into the police station to give a comment. And they go into this scene, this scene here, where it goes black and white. They do a negative. That's called a negative shot. They do negative colors, and they totally ripped off the Terminator 2 music. It's the Terminator music in that scene. And my brother walked into the room. He was on a break from working or something. And he's like, dude, that's the Terminator music. Yeah, they totally ripped the Terminator music. So that made us chuckle. But it shows that there's something about this character that we don't know. That he used to be someone of great influence and intimidation. So the diamonds get back. What the father did is he gave the diamonds to his daughter, and she put it in her purse. She goes into the auto with Baasha, and then one of the diamonds is missing. So he sends his crew to go and find it, and they basically tear up his auto trying to find it, even though the diamond really wasn't missing. And you can see everybody in the park, like, checking with him to see if they should attack, and take these guys out. And he's like, no. He's calm. He's just letting it happen. It's not a big deal. But Priya's distraught over the whole situation. And she tells her father, and he's like, oh, we'll apologize. We'll pay for everything. He's not going to do it. But she's kind of satisfied with that answer. And then my favorite scene of the whole movie, and it's because it made me laugh so hard. And it's a small scene. It's not supposed to make you laugh, but it did. So here you see Priya getting ready to jump into the pool. She's all pretty and put her hair up. She's in her bathing suit. And then she dives. Now, if you look at the picture, she doesn't actually dive. She belly flops. But she put her arms in the air and she jumped forward, but her arms came down. Her body didn't bend, and she basically just totally belly flopped onto the water. It made me laugh. But I was like, the director should probably be like, we should probably do a second take for that and see if you can dive for real instead of just belly flopping. I don't know. It's just me. It made me laugh. I wanted to share it with you guys. Then they had a scene where she's falling in love with him, and she basically sees his face everywhere. And they had a song sequence. I wasn't too fond of the song. I didn't like the song that much. But the sequence itself was pretty funny, where she's seeing his face on everybody. And so you have Rajinikanth dressed up as these different people, and then she sees it's not him. And so that sequence of seeing him as different characters was pretty entertaining. But for the most part, I wasn't a big fan of the song. I could have skipped it. It would have been fine. Then his sister. So we find out he made a pledge, or basically a pledge with his father, that he would fulfill the dreams that he had for his children. And one of the dreams was his sister here trying to get into this school, but basically the guy in the white, who's a total jerk, that he was basically saying, hey, I'll let you stay here and I'll let you continue your education, but you're basically going to have to give up sex for me, in basically what he said. And so she can't go to that school now. So Baasha shows up. They have a funny scene, and in this sequence here that you see, he's basically telling him who his real identity is, and the guy is freaking out. And basically gives it anything that they want. She can go to the school, it's great, it's fine, whatever. But we get a more information that he is very intimidating, this other character that we don't know much about yet. So it created a mystery of like, who is this guy, and like, why is he so intimidating? And then the other daughter wants to marry the son. It's a rich kid. And I really liked the mother-in-law in this scene. The guy says, basically the father of the son, that I don't want my son marrying this girl because they're basically going to try and take my hard-earned money, and you're just trying to marry into a wealthy family and this and that. And the mother-in-law stands up for her daughter and says, I don't want my daughter living in a family like this. She's not going to have a peaceful life. We're leaving. I liked how she stood up for herself. So we get to the third song, and it's more of like a 90s music video. A lot of Michael Jackson influence. I wasn't too much of a fan of it. I could have skipped over it. It would have been fine. It wasn't bad or anything. I would just, I don't know. It just didn't strike me as interesting or really necessary. So it felt kind of just shoehorned in there to have another song. I don't know. It kind of helped showing that she was falling in love with him more, but they did that in the previous song and they did that in the previous scenes, so I didn't really see the point to this part. But it is what it is. You can skip that part if you want. It won't affect the movie, and I didn't really find it that interesting, to be honest. So we get into our first fight scene, and he basically takes out these guys because they're threatening the wife and sister of the cop, the local police guy. And he takes them out, and it's a cheesy fight scene. It is very cheesy, but it doesn't matter. The character is neat. You like the fact that he's taking out the bad guys, And so for understanding what the movie is, you can deal with it. It's a little humorous though in the fight scene because it's not that great. But it still harkens back to some of the old Chuck Norris movies and American action movies from the 70s and 80s as well. They had the same thing. And so it feels the same way it did back then, and I like those movies. So it is what it is. You just go with the flow and accept what comes with the movie that you're getting into. So we get a little bit more story of finding out that his brother got killed by this crazy smuggler, and so he became a smuggler to gain enough power to be able to kill that guy and take over. Whenever they show the scenes from the past of when he's Baasha, the smuggler, he's got a full beard. And when they show the scenes of the present day when he's the auto driver and it's after he faked his death, he shaved the beard, he's just got the mustache. Personally, I think Rajinikanth looks cooler with the full beard, and that's why I liked that he has the full beard in Kabali. So I really like that. I'm glad that he kept the beard for Kabali. Here's the crazy smuggler guy. He's insane. Kills people for almost no reason. And he gets even crazier as the movie goes on and just totally flips out at the end. But he's the guy that killed Baasha's brother. And we're trying to take him out. So this is one of my favorite scenes because he really shows his authoritative manner and intimidation, where he basically goes into the police and says, "I'm doing your job for you without the uniform. You should be thanking me instead of trying to hurt me," and blah blah blah. And I like that he stood up to the police. But they also had another Terminator moment. Terminator music going on. So this song I liked. This was his birthday party, and I think it shows his swagger, a lot better than the other ones did. And so I liked this one. I think I liked this one the most. This one and the first song, the auto song. I liked those two the most. So Baasha storms in and stops the forced wedding that Priya was going to have to marry this other guy that she doesn't like. And then they have another song sequence. Basically, "You're My King," and this is my dad's favorite music sequence. He loves this one. I thought it was okay. It was better than the two middle ones. I would put this one in third place. It was a pretty good sequence. It was fun to watch. I didn't feel like skipping it, so I thought they did good with that one. The crazy guy escapes prison. He's been in prison for a long time and going crazier and crazier and crazier. He finds out Baasha's alive because he thought he was dead. And he escapes prison to go and kill him. So crazy guy goes and kidnaps the mother and sister, Baasha's mother and sister. And yeah, that doesn't go over very well. That kind of makes him a little mad, just a little. He gets kind of peeved. He's got to go on a rampage and take him out. And that's when we started getting this fight scene, where he basically storms the castle to get his relatives back. And again, the fight scenes weren't good. They were pretty funny, if anything. But it is what it is for the time period and style and money, the type of movie that it is. So you still enjoyed it. This fight scene right here, this sequence was pretty cool. Just not great, but still pretty cool. How he flips him over and everything. And every action movie's gotta have a slow walk from an explosion. Really, they switch between, in this scene as he's walking away from the fire, of him, the old him, and this is the new him. So basically showing that what they're doing in this scene is they're showing that his two characters are coming together and he's embracing his true self. That's why they show him walking and they did the same thing at the wedding, of him walking as the Automan and then him walking with his crew from when he was a smuggler, and they switch back and forth, and it's those sequences are just showing how he's accepting that he is the same person, that he is both people, and letting the world know that he's still alive. So like I said in my spoiler-free section, I liked the movie. I thought it was entertaining. I would give it a 7 out of 10 for what it was during that time period. I would give it that score in 1995 if I saw it back then. So what did you guys think? Comment below and let me know what you thought of the movie. Also, I have a Patreon account now that if you want to help support the channel, go check that out. And links to my Facebook and Twitter are in the description below. Like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, and I will see you on the next video.